In this nugget, you and I are going to dig into some more details when it comes to pricing as associated with Amazon Web Services. Let's begin by covering some more details about the support plans. The Amazon Web Services support plans could be a big part of our budget when it comes to Amazon Web Services for our infrastructure and compute and storage and all those great resources. Recall that when we Google AWS support plans, we can go to this compare page and we know that there's the basic, the developer, the business, and the enterprise levels of support. Notice that 24/7 access to customer service is something that's going to be given to us across all of those four plans. So that's great. Also, trusted advisor is common between the levels, but we are going to be limited to 6 core trusted advisor checks when it comes to the basic plan and the developer plan. We start to get to full trusted advisor capabilities with business and enterprise. Now, if we scroll down, a big differentiator is technical support, right? With the basic plan, we don't have any, and then developer, business, and enterprise are going to give us that 24/7 with the business restricted to email. So that's a key differentiator. Another big thing is if there will be specific individuals assigned to our account or not. For instance, when it comes to account assistance, notice we have the support concierge, and that's going to be restricted to the enterprise level of support. Just like what's called a TAM, or technical account manager. This TAM functionality is great. They provide us proactive guidance on our Amazon Web Services, but that is limited to the enterprise level support contract. From a pricing standpoint, notice that we know we don't pay anything extra for basic support, but the starts at $29 a month is with our developer support level, then the business level starts at $100 a month, and then the enterprise level starts at $15K a month. So we want to think about these different services that are provided at each level, and also, of course, we need to budget for these support costs. Now, in our nugget on pricing models, we got into a little bit of the different ways that we can price things when it comes to EC2. Let's elaborate on that right now. We said there was on-demand pricing for EC2 resources, and this is the price that exists at a given moment in time. And when we spin up a certain instance type with certain software running through the AMI, we're going to be charged that price. We said there was a reserved instance pricing model that we could use, and we could pay none up front, some up front, or all up front in order to receive different discounts. This is going to be a 1 to 3 year contract, by the way, so this would only be appropriate if we were willing to commit to Amazon Web Services for those longer durations. Then there's something, though, that we haven't discussed much, and that is spot instance pricing. Let's say the current on-demand price is 48 cents an hour. We go in and we do a bid of 45 cents an hour. So this is called our bid price, and this is called the spot price. And let's say the spot price does fall to our 45 cents an hour that we're willing to pay. The EC2 instances will spin up at that price. Pretty cool. So an auction style when it comes to pricing is spot pricing that we could engage in. Something else that you can do if you're willing to pay extra is you can say that I want my EC2 instances to be on dedicated, gotta spell it right, dedicated instances. This is pretty cool. So now the hardware that's up at Amazon Web Services, that will be exclusive for your instances. So we know that we are not sharing hardware with other customers. You could see if security was of a major concern, we might want to look at dedicated instance pricing. Now, if we need to lock it down even more than that, we would go with dedicated host type structure. Here, not only are your EC2 instances going to be on dedicated hardware, but you'll actually know the specific hardware ID of that system. You can literally place it on the specific hardware and have an identifier for that hardware from Amazon Web Services. We would do something like this where we have licensing in place already that we want to use in the cloud, and that licensing must reference specific hardware that we're putting that software on. So that takes it even further, and again, don't forget, you would pay for those privileges. If you're interested in the certification exam that goes along with this course, we covered two areas in this nugget that are quite important. We took a look at the different support levels once again. Those would certainly impact your price with Amazon Web Services. And we also talked about the different pricing models that we get into with EC2. Remember, those were spot pricing, reserved pricing, on-demand pricing, and then dedicated instance and dedicated host pricing. Be ready in the exam environment to discuss what's available at the different support levels, and also be prepared to discuss the different EC2 pricing models and maybe even a scenario where you'd have to pick one. For instance, if we have a scenario that says we have this fixed workload that we need to run for the next 3 years, and we know there'll be no variation in that workload, well, this would be a great time for you to consider reserved instance pricing. This is because it's a long time that you want to have the resources. It's a fixed workload. You know exactly how many resources you're going to need. So that would really lean you towards the reserved instance pricing. Be ready for those types of questions if you're interested in certification. I hope you found this nugget informative, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.